I mean, in Joseph's story,
Yep.
it was similar where he finally revealed himself to them, and
Yep.
they were afraid when all of the things were happening
Right.
initially. So once they saw him, he kissed them, he did all the things. Jacob also was hugged Rachel, kissed her.
Kissed her.
Like
Yep.
it was just a relief to finally be home,
Right.
or not home, but I guess it was his home for a while. But finally be with his family people after the long travel that he had.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so this made me go back and rethink that Rachel incident where there wasn't anything salacious about what Joseph was doing.
Mm-mm.
It was just like, this is a greeting for when you see a family member, particularly after a long period of time.
Yeah.
You embrace, you fall on their neck, and you weep. I don't know why everybody's got to weep, but that seems to be what they do.
Yeah.
And so that's just how. And I love the but in here. What is going on, XYZers and XYZ Nation? It's us, Generational Scriptures. We're back with the next episode. Right back in your ear. Right back at you. We're looking at Genesis chapter 33 today. And the title of today's episode is Time Heals All Wounds.
Mm.
And I put a question mark. I'm not sure if that's completely true, but hopefully we see how it applies.
Yeah.
Right? All right. We're supposed to do something here, and that something is to introduce ourselves. I am the latchkeyed one himself, the former X-Man representing Gen X, all up in the area. And next to me, we have...
I am Moya, the resident millennial. And together we are
Generational Scriptures. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. So let's jump in. We got the ISO boom.
Yes. All right. So
Hold up. I didn't do my explosion.
Oh.
Where's my explosion?
All right. So Genesis chapter 32, we start off with Jacob. He's on his way back to his homeland.
Yep.
On his way, the angels of God meet him, and he realizes that, or he says that this place is God's camp, and he names the place Mahanaim, which means two camps or two hosts.
Right.
We had a discussion about what that could mean more in depth in the last episode, so go back if you want more details on that. Jacob sends some messengers ahead of him to meet with Esau in the land of Seir, and those messengers come back and they let Jacob know that, oh yeah, your brother's coming, and he's coming with 400 men. And so obviously Jacob is shaken up a little.
Yeah.
And so he splits up his camp into two different camps, so that if Esau comes and attacks one camp, the other one could escape.
Right.
So he's thinking ahead as always. Like Jacob is pretty smart. We talk about how he's always like that's a couple steps ahead in his thoughts. He then also prays, right? We can call it prayer, but prays to God and just says like, thank you for all the things that you've done, but also you told me to leave and come back, so I need you to help me. So he comes humbly, but he also reminds God of the promises that he's made to him.
Right.
And then Jacob sends gifts to his brother Esau. He sends a bunch of animals, and he sends them in groups. I believe it was 6 groups or 5 groups, but he sends a bunch of groups. He sends them one at a time. He instructs them to, when you get to Esau, say these things, and then the next group go, like, y'all just keep going till it pretty much gets to me. So he sent them, they called it droves. And then he sends his wives, the servants, and his sons across.
Yeah.
And he's left alone. While he's alone, a man starts to wrestle with him.
I know.
Initially, you're like, what? How do we get here?
Right.
And then we realize who is wrestling with him, because as they're fighting, the man realizes that Jacob is not really giving up, so he touches his hip socket and puts it out of place.
Yep.
And Jacob ends up with the limp, but Jacob is holding on like, I'm not letting go until you bless me.
Right.
The man changes his name from Jacob to Israel.
Yep.
And blesses him, saying, like, you've striven with God, and this is your blessing from that. And then Jacob is like, what's your name? And then the guy's like, you don't need to know my name, like, don't worry about it. But we do find out that he names the place Peniel.
Yes.
And it says, because I have seen God face to face and my life is preserved. So
Yep.
from that, we assume that the person he's fighting with is God.
Right.
And yeah, so then it ends with them telling us that Jacob has a limp and that the people of Israel don't eat the sinew of the hip of animals because of that whole interaction.
Because of that. Yep. Wow. I think the only other thing I wanted to pinpoint, and because I think that it'll have some play today, is in his prayer. If I remember correctly, didn't he say that he feared that Esau would harm the children?
The children.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in that prayer, I think he's also asking for safety for
Mhm.
them as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and that plays out today. Awesome. 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 That is the all right. So boom.
Yes.
So next up, which has now become the norm,
Yes.
folks, this is how it's going to be from now on, I guess, or
Yep.
at least until Jasmine gets back.
That's true.
That I get to read first. Yeah, I get to read first, folks. what a I was about to say burden, but that's not the right. I was about to say chore. That's not the right
What a
word.
blessing that you get to read first every time. After my All Right, So Boom segment. I think people like consistency, like predictability.
So this is bringing the consistency in okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be consistent, and I'm going to read Genesis chapter 33, verses 1 through 3. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming, and 400 men with him. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the two female servants. And he put the servants with the children in front, then Leah with her children, and Rachel and Joseph last of all. He himself went on before them, bowing himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother.
Yeah.
So I was going to title this like Omar is coming. For any Wire fans out there, you might get the reference. But it's like there's a scene in The Wire where Omar, who's like a big bad, and he's just like uh uh he's a big bag, and everybody's scared of him, and nobody can seem to catch him. And so what they do is he starts walking somewhere, and people just start yelling out the windows, "Omar's coming!" And everybody starts to move and pack up and get all this stuff out the way. And then he's walking by, and everybody's quiet, and he's whistling and stuff. So I went there first because I was like, Esau's coming.
Yeah.
From Jacob's standpoint.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's just one part of this whole story. So why make that the title?
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So
It's the title that I copied over because I don't stay in your notes.
I
So
mean,
I find out the title with everybody else
and
officially.
and in all honesty, I did that this morning.
Oh,
So we see that Esau is coming, and we don't know how he's coming yet,
yeah.
right?
Not yet. We know he's coming with his 400 men though.
Right, and so like you mentioned in the ISO boom, the servants or the people, the messengers told Jacob he got 400 people and he's coming to meet you.
Yeah.
And now imagine Jacob looking up. I always like how they do this. He lifted up his eyes and saw, behold, right? He looks up, he sees, behold, he looked rather, and behold, he sees the 400 men with Esau.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's scared.
Yeah. I would be scared too.
But then we see him do the activities that he's known for, right?
Hmm.
And in any of those activities, do they strike you as odd or anything in there strike you that you felt was interesting that you wanted to speak on?
Yeah, so the division of, I mean, of course, you give the kids to their mothers
Yep.
that these are my kids, you give those. But then the order in which he places them is like, y'all go first
Yep.
because he'll get y'all first. Like, give everybody a chance. Who do I want to escape first?
Right.
So the servants first, okay, makes sense. But then it's Leah,
Yeah.
and then it's Rachel, who he loves.
Right.
Of course, gonna be last. Let her get a chance to get out
To
of
get out of
there.
there. Yeah.
And then we get told Rachel and Joseph, whereas everyone else was just and their kids and their kids and their kids. Like these are special.
Yeah. They're special. And what one thing I was like is like when we get to, and we talked about this in 37, because one of the questions that you asked was like, do you have a favorite?
Hmm.
And we all answered, right? Except for Jasmine, because she didn't have kids then. Now I guess she does have a favorite because she only has one. But hey,
Yeah.
anyway, it's beside the point. Um, but when we see that and we see the way that Joseph is behaving, yeah, I said it right. That Joseph is behaving, you can almost think of it as like it came about one day, like he just woke up and just started acting that way. But I think this is sort of intimating, even the placement, that yeah, this idea of Joseph being this, what do we say? He wasn't bratty. He didn't have emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Being that way is because of this type of
Yeah.
situation. Like,
He was always protected.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, that's why my dad put you up front.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone who believes they're the favorite, I get it. Like I get not feeling like you have to do certain things because you're the favorite.
Right.
I think even my youngest brother, he feels that way too. So there are certain things he may or may not do because he feels he's the favorite. So both of us on our two ends
So
of
y'all
being
be
the
battling.
favorite. Yeah. Oh, and the two in the middle are just like we're not the favorite, so we're just gonna do what we need
Whatever.
to do. But I think there's things that there's certain roles that you can have, and the way you talk is a little different.
Okay.
Even outside of your siblings and your family, like the way I talk to friends or before I was married, like potential suitors is different because I'm like, my daddy, like my daddy this or my daddy that. Like there's a different level of because I think even when Joseph is talking to um like he sees the person, I think he doesn't feel there's no fear in him because he's always been protected. So when he goes and talks to a stranger and says, "Where are
Yeah.
my brothers?" You would only do that if you're just like, nothing can hurt me.
Right. Yeah, that's
Like
true.
that person could have been anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was just freely walking around, finding his brothers. Like he doesn't know they're mad at him. Like he's just always protected.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good take. I like that.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he was protected, and he was going. And it's not until he gets actually sold into slavery where he sees what it can actually be like, and his
Yeah.
protection is no longer because my dad's got me. Now my protection is because the Lord
Yeah.
is with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Oh, man, that's good. That's good. Um, one thing else that was brought up that I wanted to get your take on, as I was reading and preparing for this, I did not get the sense when we read the last chapter and went through it that when Jacob sent the folks across the ford at Jabbok, and it says that he stayed behind, like that was him sort of sending them to be in the front to meet Esau while he was behind the pack.
I thought he sent the droves ahead to
Right.
meet Esau,
Right.
but everyone else that wasn't a part of that is not behind him, but they crossed over
Right.
not to meet Esau, but to maybe set up camp or to settle wherever they are
Right.
and wait for him to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I thought too. And I'm not sure I don't think that anymore, but as I was going through it, and it's not just one, several commentaries are like, now, instead of him being in the back, right? He himself went on before them. He's putting himself in the front. and they're like, "You see his change.
I read that exact thing too.
And I'm like, I didn't get the impression that when they said that he sent them across and he stayed back, that he was expecting them to go and meet him.
No, I didn't get that either.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I thought
Plus, it
that.
wouldn't make sense because now the this is the next day because we know he was fighting with God overnight. Yeah,
Right.
till the break of dawn or whatever it said back then.
Yeah.
So there was no expectation that the women and stuff were going to go
Right.
meet Esau. It was
Right.
the 6 droves that he was like, y'all go one at a time, say these words, say that my master is behind you or
Right.
Jacob is behind us. And those were the people, but everyone else, no.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering because I was like, I don't quite see it.
Yeah, I thought that was a reach of people. They were trying to make it seem like, oh, he's changed now. He's no longer Jacob. He's Israel now. So he's walking different and acting different. I'm like, I don't see that yet.
No, I know. I thought so. Let me know if I thought even in the last chapter we were saying we could see some change in him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even the way that he sent the messengers and the droves off, the way that he dressed himself as a servant
Yeah.
and Esau's lord, right? I think that even at that point, it was like, oh, he's. I don't know. I don't know if he's all the way there, but we can see there's a change.
Yeah.
And he's either in the path of changing or it's been done already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. I was like, I don't think this is. You see the change here. I think you see the change way back when he went and he said to his wives, "Look, this is what I want to do."
Yeah. That's when the change is starting,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. So yeah, I wanted to say that. And then, what do you make of him bowing himself to the ground 7 times until he came near?
The main thing that stood out was him bowing to Esau versus Esau, because Esau was told, or he was told in his blessing, right, that his brothers would bow to him. It was Genesis, I wrote it down, 27:29. Basically saying like the people will serve him, nations will bow down to him,
Right.
you'll be lord over your brothers,
Yep.
and your mother's sons will bow down to you. But here he's bowing down to Esau 7 times at that, like a lot.
Right.
So I don't know what that means for that blessing then.
I don't know that. I think so. I think this is again just showing his humility because he's learned and his um I
Is it
want to
still
use
fear?
I want to use a big like conciliatory nature. His recompense, his wanting to pay back, his wanting to make sure that he somehow lets Esau know that yeah, I did do you wrong.
Mm.
That's what I think it is. His conciliatory nature. That's what I think is happening. I don't think that this is saying that the blessing has been flipped, that it's no longer valid.
Yeah, I'm just thinking more of, is it a literal bowing down in the blessing? Because in Joseph's story, when he has the stocks are going to bow and the stars are going to bow and all these things are going to bow, it happens.
Yeah.
Like there is a day where his brothers are bowing to him, and then he remembers that, like, I had this dream, I told you all about it, and here it is happening. But I don't know if that's going to happen in Jacob's story. And maybe
Yeah,
that's something we have to look for.
yeah, we may have to look that up because I remember the blessing, and I don't remember. I can. Did you say bow down?
Mm-hmm. 27,
29, right?
29. Yep. Yeah, let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you.
Yeah. So I think that this is going to be recognized in some way because it is a blessing that he's going to get. I don't know that it gets recorded or that it is stated as matter of factly because I also believe that this goes on not just between those two brothers, but between the nations that they eventually become.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So at some point, yeah, I think that you're going to bow down in terms of just like they did to Joseph. You're in charge. You've got some status, right?
Yeah.
Had to bow down to him because they wouldn't eat
Yeah.
if they didn't.
Yeah.
Right. And then at first they didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
But so I think that it is going to come to pass. I don't know that we are told exactly when or how. I don't know if it's exactly the brother because some of this gets spread out into nations. Um, but I would say it does happen, and but I don't know when.
Mm.
And the only reason I say it does happen is because it's in Scripture, and it's the blessing that we know is ultimately going to get. Every other piece of it gets fulfilled,
Yeah.
right? Why wouldn't that piece? So yeah, and then that word seven. What I believe that they're trying to say is that he's fully prostrate, like seven, sort of like that number of completion type
Mhm.
thing, or yeah. So he is approaching his brother. Um, looks like he's doing all the things he can to make sure that it comes out well.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, how was his brother going to respond? So next up,
Yes. Genesis chapter 33, verses 4 to 7. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And when Esau lifted up his eyes and saw the women and children, he said, "Who are these with you?" Jacob said, "The children whom God has graciously given your servant." Then the servants drew near, they and their children, and bowed down. Leah likewise and her children drew near and bowed down. And last, Joseph and Rachel drew near, and they bowed down.
wow, didn't turn out the way that Jacob thought.
No, no.
So what does Esau's um response to seeing Jacob remind you of any other responses we've seen?
I mean, in Joseph's story,
Yep.
it was similar where he finally revealed himself to them,
Yep.
and they were afraid when all of the things were happening
Right.
initially. So once they saw him, he kissed them, he did all the things. Jacob also was what hugged Rachel, kissed her.
Kissed her.
Like
Yep.
it was just a relief to finally be home,
Right.
or not home, but well, I guess it was his home for a while, but finally be with his family, people
Family.
after the
Yeah.
long travel that he had.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so this made me go back and rethink that Rachel um incident where there wasn't anything salacious about what Joseph was doing. It
Mm-mm.
was just like this is a greeting for when you see a family member, particularly after a long period of time.
Yeah.
You embrace, you fall on their neck, and you weep. I don't know why everybody's got to weep, but that seems to be what they do.
Yeah.
And so that's just how. And I love the but in here because, and I know I'm weird with adversatives, but because while Jacob is preparing for the worst, Esau's response to him is completely opposite of what Jacob is expecting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why. So when I saw that, but when I was reading, I was like, instead of what you thought he would do. And to be fair, we thought that because of the last we really heard of Esau, he was going to kill his brother.
Yeah. And that's like some of the things that Isaac was saying to his sons is now feeling more not like literal,
Hmm.
but somewhat, what's the word? Not literal, whatever the opposite of,
Figurative.
yeah, like figurative. Like even the whole you will serve your brother and this, and when you're tired, like you will take that yoke off of you. And now
Yeah.
it feels more of this is an internal thing that you're working through. He's so upset and so angry that he wants to kill his brother, but by the
Right.
time the brother comes, he's over it. It's like he finally took off the yoke that was holding him
That
and
was
making
holding him
him
back.
so upset.
Okay.
And he's moved on and he's like, I'm good. He wasn't supposed to be wealthy, right? Esau's was that he was going to have to work. He was not going to live off the fat of the land. He was not going to
Yeah.
have all of these things. But by the time we see him, he has 400 men. He says, I'm good. Like, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
So is it more of a figurative, yeah, figurative blessing, or the wording that Isaac used when he blessed them, was it literal? Because they end up being separated, and the things that we would think would happen are not necessarily happening the way we would think they would.
Hmm. again, I have to go back to the fact that they're nations, and I think we have to go and read how Edom and Israel deal with each other. So I think when it comes to national, Israel is treating Edom like the younger brother, so to speak.
Mhm.
Edom does not defeat Israel. Um, but I can see your point, and I think it's a very good point in the fact that, yeah, maybe in terms of the near term, when it comes to dealing with Esau, it's like yeah, you've got some stuff that you need to deal with, and once you do, you won't be worried about Joseph
Yeah.
anymore. And the fat of
Jacob.
the Jacob anymore. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the fat of the land, and that one's tough because it could be relative, like hate. Esau have I hated, but Jacob have I loved. I think I reversed that, or it couldn't be, right?
Or you're saying it could be more of a future tense, not a it has to happen in your generation.
Yeah, it could be a future generational thing. It could be a relative thing. So in relativity to Jacob, Esau is not going to be living like Jacob is,
Mm.
right? In terms of wealth and all of those things, it could be that. Um, I don't know. That's interesting. That deserves probably some more reading and studying,
Yeah.
reading other books that are dedicated to Esau and Jacob. That's a really good point. Um, but wept. I mean, there's nothing else, right? Is to say in there. Esau sees all of these people, so he realizes at this point that Esau is, I mean, that Jacob is doing pretty good.
Yeah. I think the other thing to point out is the way that Jacob addresses Esau versus the way Esau addresses
Good point.
Jacob.
Good point.
So Jacob is always like, my lord,
Mhm.
this, like he's very humble, and then Esau is like we're brothers,
Right.
just my brother this, my brother that. So it's interesting how the two have now
Mm-hmm.
roles are kind of changing.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. That's good. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Genesis chapter 33, verses 8 through 11. Esau said, "What do you mean by all this company that I met?" Jacob answered, "To find favor in the sight of my Lord." But Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." Jacob said, "No, please. If I have found favor in your sight, then accept my present from my hand. For I have seen your face, which is like seeing the face of God, and you have accepted me. Please accept my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough." Thus he urged him, and he took it. So, real quick, there is one thing that I didn't mention in the last set of verses, and I think it'll come up again. And actually, it just did, right? That when Esau asks about all of these who are accompanying
Hmm.
Jacob, Jacob doesn't say it's because of my hard work, because I did all this thing, because I put up with all of this corruption, because I outsmarted. He attributes all of that to
God.
God,
Yeah.
right? And I think even when he gets down here and he says, God has dealt graciously with me, when referring to the present that he sent beforehand, he's attributing the fact that he has what he has and he is where he is because of God, which is sort of him with the vow that he made. And again, I think we started to see this already because he even prayed before and all of these things.
Hmm.
But you're just seeing it more cemented. I enjoyed and was happy when I saw that he was like, God did this.
Yeah.
So, um, and what do you make of "to find favor in my sight, in the sight of my Lord"? If I have found favor in your sight.
I think it's what we've been talking about. Like he wants to have peace with his brother.
Yeah.
He knows his mother told him his brother wanted to kill him. So that's the only thing you would have been thinking about on this
Right.
journey back.
Right.
Is my brother still alive? Does he still want to kill me? Like, those are the things you're going to be thinking on this journey. And now you see your brother and he seems fine.
Yeah.
And there's still a little question of, is he?
Right.
Why is he not accepting my gift? I gave him gifts and he's saying, I don't want it. Like, what's up with that?
Right.
And I read that you don't accept gifts from enemies. So it could have been taken as, no, I don't want your gift because I didn't actually really forgive you. And he's like, no, accept it. Accept
Right.
my gift.
Right. Okay.
And so it made a little bit more sense of why he's pushing so much, because Esau said, I don't need it.
Right.
And Jacob was like, no, I don't need it. Like, I don't need it either.
You take it.
So yeah, I think initially when I read that, I was like, I don't know. But then I started thinking about Abraham and who he accepted gifts from and who he didn't. But I was like, because they're saying you don't accept from enemies or anyone that you want to keep as an enemy, but
Okay.
you would accept from a friend or someone that you've reconciled with. So when Abraham doesn't accept the gift from the king of Sodom, is it because he's like, I don't really need any connection to you? And he says, I don't want anybody to say I got anything from you.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't about you.
Ooh, we're on fire today. Ooh, go ahead. Okay.
But yeah, that was the thing. Like, so I think to cement their reconciliation, you have to accept the gift.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why he's pushing so hard.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that.
And it's in the sight of everybody too. Because if you say no and then I come back and attack you,
Right.
I didn't accept nothing from you. I didn't say I actually forgive you. Like, I was just playing.
Right.
But if you take the gifts, can you really come
Can you
back?
come
And
back?
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I like that. That's good. That's good. And then he says something here also that it was a little weird for me to grasp when I first read it. For I have seen your face, which is like seeing the face of God, and you have accepted me. Is he saying that that's the face of God? That Esau's face is the face of God?
I don't think so. I think it's more so, and you can correct me, but it's more so like I'm staring, like if I see this, I should be dying. The same way that he said, if I've striven with God and my life has been preserved,
Exactly.
he's not striving with Esau. He's seen Esau, who should be killing him, and he's not dead. So he's
Yeah.
like, it's the same.
Yeah.
He's comparing the two.
Yeah, it's a simile, that word like. I
Yeah.
completely agree. And I think he said not that did he say I've striven, or did he say I've seen the face of God
And I've
and
prevailed.
I've
Let's see. It was,
lived or prevailed or something of that nature.
yeah, you can keep going. I'll look.
But yeah, so I completely agree. It's not meant to say that Esau is God. It's just meant to say that just as God has accepted me and I've seen God face to face, Peniel,
Yeah.
and I've lived,
Yeah.
right? I'm now and I've prayed for this moment that I would even live after I saw you. Now that I'm seeing you, I'm actually taken back to that moment of acceptance, back to the moment of my prayer, seeing it being revealed and fulfilled. And now seeing you is in your acceptance is a reminder of what God has done in my life and his
Yeah.
acceptance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So God says, for you have, or your name shall be no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with man and have prevailed. And then later on, he says, Jacob says, for I have seen God face to face, yet my life has been delivered.
Right.
So I think we're combining the two, but yeah, all of it together.
Yeah.
You should have died, but you did not.
And that makes sense because that's a big, he's had, I didn't even think of this until now, but he's had several big episodes that have led to him and his state. Bethel, when he was leaving, right? And the Lord spoke to him and made promises to him. The fact that the Lord came to him in a dream, it was a dream or a vision, talking about the mating of the goats and the sheep and the lambs and the wrestling, which all seem to spur him, move him forward to the point where he is right now ready to face his brother when he's coming back.
Yeah.
And not seeking a way to trick or to um, uh, misguide or to circumvent, but to face it, thinking and praying, my strength is going to have to come from the Lord to get through this,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. Which is pretty good. So yeah, and so he then, as I talked about, God has dealt graciously with me. Right? Please accept this, um, because I have enough. So
Everybody has enough.
yeah, but ultimately, to your point, Esau takes it.
Yeah.
So the whole, I like what you said. The whole, you take the gift, which sort of proves to me that we're on good ground here.
Yeah.
We're reconciling, and Esau took it,
Yeah.
even though he didn't want to.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Genesis chapter 33, verses 12 to 16. Then Esau said, "Let us journey on our way, and I will go ahead of you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are frail, and that the nursing flocks and herds are a care to me. If they are driven hard for one day, all the flocks will die. Let my Lord pass on ahead of his servant, and I will lead on slowly, at the pace of the livestock that are ahead of me, and at the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir." So Esau said, "Let me leave with you some of the people who are with me." But he said, "What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord." So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir.
Right. So what do you make of the fact that now Esau is like, all right, come on, let's go. We can leave together.
I thought that was a normal, like, yeah, let's go.
I'm must be weird because yeah, we've been talking about Esau and he looks. But do you think there's anything, and he even accepted the gift? But do you think that there's anything in him that's like trying to play the long game too? Like if
I
I can
don't
get you to
think
come
so.
with me, I can get you into my territory and
I don't.
still get you.
I don't think so. Feel like Esau is genuine, but I don't think I don't know that much about Esau besides what we've already read.
Right.
So
Right.
unless there's something I'm missing, I feel like he's genuine.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that there's any ill intent. It's just that we just got back together, and now you're saying, "Come on, let's go back to Seir."
Hmm.
Right? That's where I'm going. Come on back to Seir. Um, and I'll lead the way. So it's like, okay, that's one thing. But then he comes back and he's like, he presses it a little bit, like, take some of my men, leave some of my men with you.
I think he's trying to be helpful. So he says, "Come with me." You say, "Well, I have these kids, I have this, I have that. I need to move at a slower pace." Well, then take some men that can assist you guys. I don't know if Jacob is seeing it as, "Wait, what are you trying to do?" But I don't think that's how Esau is. Like, I don't think that's Esau's intention. I think Esau is being genuine and I just want to help you all. Either I walk with you guys on the journey and assist, or I leave some people with you to assist. And maybe Jacob is still a little shaky. Like, we're
Yeah, it
good.
could
I'm
be.
okay.
And I think that there's meant to be some of that aloofness in there. Like, all right, so they had this nice, big, warm welcome. They hugged each other, and now they're having discussions, and you know, why what's happening here, because I this it breaks down in my mind to two questions, right? One, um Esau saying, come back to my land, basically,
Hmm.
right? uh okay, but why are you going to assume, one, that that's where Joseph needs to go?
Jacob. Yeah.
Jacob, I've done that twice so far, where Jacob needs to go. Two, we know where the Lord told Jacob to go, right? So if Jacob is going to be obedient to the Lord, he's going to continue on his route to get back in Canaan, not to Seir.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
So, okay. But then the second thing, and I want to look at Jacob's responses after that. Then the second thing is, let me leave some of my people with you. These are not people, these are 400 men that the messengers are said are coming. And the way that the messengers put it is like the thought was that they're coming with some sort of hostile intent. So it's not just people. It's not people who may help with the agriculture. These are your men.
Yeah. But no one said they are warriors, though. we're assuming they could be because they're men, but they could also just be men.
They could. They could be men. Yeah, you're right.
They could just be regular.
They could.
I mean, the same men that they're using, I assume you're not at war all the time. Those are going to be the same men that you might use for other
True.
things.
And that's valid.
Those men could help you build. Those men could help you do anything, carry a kid or 2.
Mhm.
Like, it's a lot of water some camels. I don't
Carry a
know.
kid or two. Yeah. Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I can see it. I
Just
can
helping
definitely see that.
hands is what I was
That's how you
seeing it
that's how
as.
you take it. Okay. Cool. What about Jacob's responses to each of those questions?
I don't know if he is I don't know if he's still scared, like we said,
Mm-hmm.
if he's being honest in his response. Like, is it true that you can't, if you have all these men to help, can you not get the flock and the kids and everything over more easily?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Like, it, and then when we get to the next part, I guess it's more, there's just more questions. Like, are you intending to go to Seir at all? When
Yeah.
are you planning to see Esau again? Or are you just like, I don't want to go with you, but I don't want to say that.
Right. And that's what makes, I think that part is what throws uh, initial reading. I agree. Esau, good to go up front, not trying to be funny. Come back to me. We've reconciled. Come on back. I'll lead the way. Oh, you need some help? I just got this big present from you. The least I can do is leave some men with you to help out. And the children are frail, but you just left from Panan Aram all the way down to um, Peniel, which you named, and then ultimately what we'll see is Succah. That's not a short journey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it took, but it's not a short journey.
Yeah.
2, I get the young animals, but didn't it say that he had the stronger of the flocks and left Laban with the weaker?
But it's, again, we don't know how long he's been journeying, and it sounds like there's some babies,
Yep.
because he's saying nursing ones.
Get that.
So is a baby, how strong can a baby be?
Okay, and I get that. And then to the third point is, I don't know if he may have, but would he have had any intention of going to Seir, which is outside of the land of Canaan, which is apart from where his his birthright is and his blessing is, and where the
Yeah.
Lord told him to go.
Yeah, and that's the part I'm like, are you being honest, or are
Right.
you still trying to just get away?
Right. And where I go is that if you're trying to get away, then why? Is your spidey sense going off telling you I gotta I gotta separate? Or like you said, he's still got a little, I don't know how to take it. I don't know how to take it if he's still got a little Jacob in him where he's still trying to manipulate the
That's what I was
situation.
about to say.
Or is he just like, it's not worth the fight right now? If I can go my way, he can go his way. I can communicate through messengers to let him know I'm not coming later. Right?
Mm,
I don't know which it is. And I think this passage is meant to leave it that way.
okay.
It- I mean, but is that your sense? I mean, what
I
do you
don't
think?
really know. I don't know his reasoning for not being honest, but I don't know how quickly you accept that your brother that wanted to kill you when you left is now just forgiving you. So
Right.
there's gonna be some fear. So he could just still be leaning on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you. Esau could have no ill intent in anything that he's doing. But now that I think about it, after you mentioned that, it's Jacob's responses that can make you think that Jacob may see something that we don't get coming across in the read.
Yeah. Or feel something. I don't know if he's seeing anything. I think it's more of a feeling like,
Could be.
the last 20 years, I've been thinking you're going to kill me. And
Right.
now
Now all of
we
a
don't know
sudden.
when Esau got over it. Esau could have got over it in year 2 and moved
Right.
on with his life. And Jacob is still thinking about it.
Right. What was that show we were watching where it depicted the vantage point of the women?
Women of the Bible.
Yes, women of the Bible. And one of the things in there that was interesting to me is the way that this meeting was depicted. All the way up until the point of meeting, it was depicted as though Esau was coming with some very bad intent
Mm.
for Jacob.
Yeah, and that's how it's
Right?
that's how it's written. It's written like he's coming with 400 men. Oh my goodness, he's coming 400 men.
Right.
Like it's written that way.
Right. So like you, but, and I agree with your point though. We don't know whether it was 2 years, and he was like, "I'm doing pretty good. I'm okay." We're
I
gonna
miss my
read,
brother. Like
right,
we don't know.
right, and we're gonna read in chapter 36. He's got a lot of family, right, and he's living in Sarah. He's got it. He could be like, "I'm doing fine." All of that stuff is water under the bridge. That could have happened a year or two, or it could have happened like he's on his way. Let me gather up my 400 men. And somewhere along the way, his anger is cooled off.
Yeah.
So we just don't get that insight into it.
He added to the list of questions.
Yeah.
You gotta ask Esau. Were you mad or not?
Right. What was your original intent when you met Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh man. So anything else in those couple of verses?
Nope.
All right. We only have 20 verses in this chapter, which
Yeah.
is a far cry from the 55 we had 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
So we are about to finish up. Genesis chapter 33, verses 17 to 20. But Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built himself a house and made booths for his livestock. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, on his way from Padan Aram, and he camped before the city. And from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, he bought for 100 pieces of money the piece of land on which he had pitched his tent. Then he erected an altar and called it El Elohi Israel. All right. So one thing we didn't mention is that Esau left. He went back to Seir. He went on his way,
Yeah.
which meant that Jacob is going to go in the direction that he needs to go. And it's almost like two opposite directions. I'm gonna put a map up and it'll show, I think there's a red line that shows the path that Esau is taking to meet and then to return. And then you can see where Succoth is on the map in relation to Esau's return.
Yeah.
So he gets to Succoth and he sets up. Anything about his what he set up there and that you want to chime in on?
First, is this where he's supposed to be? Is
Mhm.
Shechem where he's supposed to be? Because
Well,
is that he supposed to go to where? Back to Bethel
I think he is. Did he say Bethel?
or just to Canaan? Anywhere.
Did he just or did he just say the land?
So return to the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I will be with you. I don't know if it was specified exactly where he needs
Right.
to go
So if it's not specified exactly, he's got to get back to Canaan,
to Canaan.
right? And Shechem, as it says, is in Canaan. But he has a stop along the way in Succoth, which is not in Canaan.
Okay.
So and then I was like, why did you stop there? Why didn't you just keep going? Don't know.
Is it because of the animals and the children?
Could be.
Does he need to rest?
Could be.
Is he building the house? I guess how long are you staying there if you're
Exactly.
building a house?
I think I still think it's temporary structure, but you still, for whatever reason, they stopped traveling and they just needed a place to settle in and a place to take care of the livestock.
Mm.
Because there's no discussion about the prodding or the Lord telling him to continue to move. Because remember, with Abram, right? We'll go all the way back to 11. They left Ur, right? And then they went to, well, I can't remember the city, but it was named after the son. Um, But they left her. Son died, dad died, and they were in the city that was named after his son, the Nahor or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Then in chapter 12, the Lord then comes back and he's like, Abram, get up, go to the land that I will show you, away from your right family, your kindred, your lands, right? And there's going to be this place that I'm showing you. So he started on the way, Abram, got stuck, air quotes, for all of those online watching or listening. And then the Lord prompts him to move again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see that here. It's like he got to Succoth, he did some stuff, and then he moved on. So I don't know if there was prompting or not, but this doesn't say it. And I would think if it did happen, it would be recorded because it would be nothing more than a mirroring of what Abram has done,
Yeah.
which we see elsewhere as we continue to read through
Yeah.
these
And
couple
and
verses.
then it says he arrived there safely to
Mhm.
Shechem. So it's like it feels like the journey may have paused for a second, but the idea was that
It
this is
was
where we were
always
going.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my take as well. That's my take as well. Um, and then so once he gets to Shechem, which I forgot about this, but this is one of the places that Abram went as well.
Mm.
If you go back to Genesis 12:6, I think it is, talks about him getting to Shechem. There wasn't, I think it's like 12:6 through 9. But it wasn't called a city. It was just a place where he pitched his tent.
Mm.
So now apparently this place has grown and it's
Mm.
become a town or a city. So okay, that's cool. And it's in Canaan. So he's back in the place where he belongs.
Yeah. And he
And
buys property
yeah.
or buys, land.
Yeah, he buys land, which reminds us of
Abraham.
Abraham when he bought the land from the Hittite.
Forgot his name.
I did too. Ephraim. Ephron. It's Ephron, I think. The
Maybe.
Hittite. So that he could bury, and he got the burial place and
The
all the
caves and
trees
the
around it.
trees.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now we see that was the first piece of land that Abram brought in the promised land, something he could say is his. And now we see Jacob doing the same thing now that he's in Shechem. He buys a plot, or outside the city of Shechem. He buys some land
Yeah.
for 100 pieces of silver. So he's got, silver in some translations, 100 pieces of money here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
100 pieces of something.
Right. It could be 100 sheep or whatever, or silver or whatever. So it's kind of vague. But yeah, so again, we're just seeing the continued um, the continued similarities that are between all of the patriarchs.
Yeah.
It just continues to get spelled out. All right.
And he sets up an altar,
Yes.
calls the place the God El El
Elohi Israel.
El Elohi Israel. Yep. God of Israel.
Yeah. The God El, the God of Israel. So, or it could be like El, God of Israel.
Yeah. And that's good because we started off, well, not started off, but we had Jacob saying God would not be his God until all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's naming a place the God of Israel. Like, oh, yeah, that's my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Full circle moment. That's
Yeah.
why I think this is when I first read this, I was like, it's just them getting back together. But then like you're pointing out, those little nuggets, it's like, okay, it's a full circle moment.
Yeah.
It's a full circle moment. Like when you're watching a TV series and sometimes it's like, okay, this is a really slow episode, but it's really the connecting episode, and it's vital to making sure you understand the connections between some of the high points of the story. And I almost feel like this is one of those because it's really a connecting thing that says God brought him back to the place where he met him on the way out. Not the exact same place, but sort of in the same way. Where I'm
Mhm.
going to be with you. And by the time you get back, yeah, you're my God.
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Oh man. Anything else?
God kept all the promises that he said he would to him, and I guess he held up his side too and made God his God.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I I I want to continue as we go through to look at is God changed his name to Israel. But aside from that, I don't think the name Israel was used in any of the verse of the chapter rather.
Mm, yeah.
When Abraham's name was changed, he was called Abraham.
Yeah.
Jacob's name is changed. He's still being called Jacob.
Mm, yeah.
And I don't know if I should read into that anything. Because initially my take would have been, oh, he changed his name, but he's still not there yet. That's why everybody's calling him Jacob. But again, we see some of the turnaround that
Yeah.
he's done.
I think we had this conversation before when we were in Joseph, and we were talking about sometimes it was Jacob and sometimes it was Israel.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe we probably won't find it, but if you go back to that season, I think we had a similar conversation. I don't know what the outcome was, but it was he never gets consistently called
Right,
Israel.
right. And I don't know. And again, probably said that then. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And but it's always been intriguing to me that it's almost like it didn't stick,
Yeah.
which I know isn't the case because I see it sticking. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into it too much. But hey, he's back. That's what I should have named it. I'll be Bach from Terminator.
Mm.
But nah, time heals all wounds. Is cool. All right.
Yeah. And I think time heals all wounds applies to multiple places here, right? Because we have the time healing the wound between him and Esau, but also time healing the wound between him and God,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yep. Wow. Man, that's pretty good. Yeah, sometimes in scripture, people speak more than they know. I titled this More Than They Know because I was just thinking of Esau and Jacob.
Mm.
But you bring up a good point in terms of, I wouldn't say that anything was healed in God, but to your point about the relationship between God and Jacob, Jacob has now come, as we mentioned, full circle,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So I think at this time, what we like to do is extend an invitation. And just as the Lord brought Jacob full circle and brought him back to himself, he makes that available to every one of us now in this time. Check this out. In this dispensation, and through none other than Jesus, right? That's what the Lord ultimately wants. He ultimately wants for His creation, right, to be reconciled unto Himself. He wants the pinnacle of His creation, which is man, to be reconciled to Himself. And the way that He made, the way that He created. I did not say that right. I do not want to say that as if Jesus has been created. What I want to say is that the process, the manner, the method in which we would be reconciled is found in none other than the second person of the Godhead who came to this earth and took on flesh and became Jesus Christ, that we might be reconciled to the Lord, the Father, in that. So it is none other than the unction of the Holy Spirit. It's none other than the working of what Jesus Christ has done on the cross. And it's none other than what the Father and the Godhead has put together as the plan for reconciliation for man and ultimately for all of his creation. So, what we ultimately want you to do is to believe. We want you to believe that Jesus is our salvation. We want you to believe that Jesus is the one who died on the cross for our sins. We all have a sin debt. We know we have a sin debt because the death rate it bats 1,000. Well, with the exception of two people that we know of in terms of Enoch and Elijah. But apart from that, everyone who is born is going to die, and the reason for that is because they're sin. So he died for our sins, to deal with our sins. So he was buried, meaning that there isn't a joke. This isn't a swoon theory. This isn't something that didn't happen, that he was dead and he died. And that's important because what we see next is the fact that he was raised from the dead provides the proof to us that this Jesus is the one who can address our sins, that this Jesus is the firstborn of all creation, that he is the first fruits of all who will come after him. That hope, that quickening, the Holy Spirit, the power that raised Jesus is the same thing that would raise us. The spirit that raised Jesus is the same spirit that is in us. So, again, we urge you to believe. If you have questions, reach out. We'd love to chop it up with you, talk to you. Um, if you have any questions about churches or church homes, there's some tools that we can make avail ourselves to that we can help in those areas as well. But again, we do this, and our prayer is that we would be edified. So we do this, one, for ourselves, but two, we do it such that Jesus' name would be made known and that some may come to believe in who he is. All right. So that's it.
Yeah.
All right, people. We got episode 11, Genesis 34, coming up. We look to see you all next week. And with that, we out of here. Deuces.